car accident allowed my husband and I to be reborn on the day we met my parents. He threw away the gift in his hands and told me to break up with him. I nodded in agreement. After all, in the last life, our ending was divorce. In this life, we didn't want to relive those arguments and disagreements. He went abroad to find his long-cherished first love. I stayed at the local hospital and worked diligently. 7 years later, at the wedding banquet of an old classmate, he mocked me from on high, saying that I was like a cleaning lady. But when he saw my twin daughters calling me mommy, he angrily asked, "How could you let another man have your children?" Kevin Lee threw the fruit in his hands onto the ground. "Let's break up. I won't go to your house to meet your parents." I suddenly came back to my senses. I saw the joy and excitement in his eyes. I nodded, okay. Kevin Lee and I were both reborn. We were reborn on the day I took him to my parents' house. In my previous life, I was a cardiothoracic surgeon and he was a dentist. Although we were both very busy, I still did most of the housework. He would just lie on the sofa after work, saying that he didn't want to move after a long day at work, so I did all the cooking. He said that he had a sore back from working in the office all day, so I did the sweeping and mopping after dinner. Every time, he would hug me tenderly and say that I had worked hard, and I would shake my head and say that it wasn't hard. Because we love each other, I am willing to sacrifice for the family. Because he knows how much I sacrifice, I am willing to do it even if it is hard. And he will also bring me back my favorite grapes on his way home from work. When I am sick, he takes care of me all night long. My colleagues say we are a model couple in the hospital. But after attending his friend's child's first birthday party, everything changed. I said, "Let's have a baby too," and he sarcastically asked, "Do you know how much it costs to have a child?" And I asked him to massage my back after a long day of work, sweeping and mopping. He became impatient and said I was being fussy. He said other people don't have aches and pains everywhere. When I asked him to buy some fruit on his way home from work, he said I would gain weight if I ate too much and that I should lose weight. When I was sick and in pain and asked him to pour me some water, he said impatiently, "I'm not a princess, asking people to wait on me." At the time, I thought he was under a lot of pressure at work and tried to comfort him. But then I heard him talking to a friend on the phone and found out the reason. His friend had married a rich girl because he was good-looking. His life had immediately gone up a class with a chauffeur, a cook, and a nanny. The cost of the baby's first-month banquet was equivalent to 50 years' salary for Kevin Lee and me. His friend told him, "Key to changing a man's destiny is to marry a rich wife." Then they mentioned Kevin Lee's first love, Cynthia Deng. They said that after she graduated, she went abroad to join a well-known research team and also founded a private hospital and became a big boss. They said that if he hadn't met me back then, he and his first love would have gotten back together, and they could have led a life of luxury. Once, after he had drunk too much, he said that he regretted marrying me and that if he hadn't met me, he would have been fine. That way, he would still be with his first love, and he would have been rich. Then he started hinting that I should let patients give me red envelopes to save up some money, and if they didn't, I wouldn't treat them properly. I refused sternly. He threw my pillow out and told me to sleep in the guest room. He found excuses to throw away the food I cooked. He deliberately kicked over the trash can to make me give in. After I had been busy with an operation, he mocked me, saying that I was rich but didn't know how to make money, inflexible and unable to change, and that I would only be a lowly laborer for the rest of my life. But we don't have a mortgage on the RV, we have $500,000 in savings. I will get a bonus for my research project, and both of our parents have pensions. We are doing pretty well. It was just because his friend became rich that stimulated his self-esteem and aroused his vanity. He was unable to make more money, so he took it out on me. Until the time when he and I were arguing, he pushed me hard, and my stomach hit the corner of the table. I had a miscarriage, and before I knew it, he had already left me. I was exhausted both physically and mentally. When he proposed a divorce, I agreed. But on the way to our divorce, we were involved in a series of car accidents, and we lost our lives. Although life gives us a second chance, but we parted ways tacitly at this moment. Soon, I heard the news that Kevin Lee had left the country, and I continued to stay at the local hospital, working and doing research at the same time. 7 years later, I was exhausted after a 12-hour surgery. I collapsed in a chair and gulped down a large bottle of water. Then I received a call from my university classmate Lily Zhang, urging me to attend a wedding banquet. I couldn't go home to change, so I rode my bike there. After all, it was faster to ride a bike than to drive to the wedding banquet hotel. I was just about to arrive at the hotel when someone stopped me. Nina Jenkins. I turned around and saw Kevin Lee, whom I hadn't seen in 7 years, walking over in a perfectly fitted black suit and shiny leather shoes. "It really is you. Kevin Lee dusted off his sleeves and revealed an expensive-looking watch on his wrist. His look of disdain and smugness as he looked at me said, "Nina Jenkins, it's your best friend's wedding today, and you've just returned from carrying bricks? You're here in crumpled clothes, looking like a cleaning lady." Before I could reply, I was interrupted by a clear voice. "Isn't this Nina Jenkins?" Cynthia Deng was wearing a slim-fitting red dress, with long yellow wavy hair and red-dyed fingernails. She was arm in arm with Kevin Lee, looking at me with a smile of triumph and contempt. After all, she was recognized by the teacher as a heart surgery genius in our class. Now she's doing so poorly. "I've opened a private hospital. I can give you a job as a receptionist for old time's sake. What do you think?" Looking at the expensive clothes they were wearing, it seemed that Kevin Lee had achieved what he wanted and reunited with his rich first love. I politely declined thanks, but no thanks. Several other classmates had come with them. One of them came up to me and raised an eyebrow, saying, "Don't be in such a hurry to say no, Nina Jenkins. You don't know, Cynthia Deng has joined a top medical research team abroad and now has her own private hospital. No one else can even get close to her." The other classmates who followed all nodded in agreement. "Exactly, Nina Jenkins. Cynthia Deng has cured several cancer patients and is well known in the medical community. Many people want to meet her but can't find a way in, so you're really lucky to have hooked up with her." "You're right. The job of a receptionist at a hospital is easy and stress-free. You should really thank her. Although the salary is not high, it definitely won't make you dress like a cleaning lady like you do now. To be honest, Cynthia Deng is really amazing. We are still social animals, and she has already opened her own hospital." "Exactly. As classmates, we can also benefit from her. Haha." Listening to their banter, I felt nothing. They say that reunions after graduation are a mirror that shows the true nature of people. I can now see what they mean, but I can also understand them. Life is hard, and everyone wants to hitch a ride on someone powerful to save them. They saw that I was ignoring them. One of my classmates looked at me discontentedly and said, "Come on, Nina Jenkins. Cynthia Deng has already given you a chance, and you're not even grateful?" "Exactly, don't be arrogant just because you got good grades in school. It's a different world out there now." I was speechless. I had just rejected her, and now standing quietly to the side made me arrogant. "I told you, I have my own job and don't need her introduction." Cynthia Deng snorted when she heard this. Kevin Lee frowned and looked at me. "Nina Jenkins, I told you long ago that society is different from school. You are just an ordinary doctor now. Now Cynthia is willing to help you, and it is much better for you to go abroad with her than to stay in China. We had a thing, but I'm with Cynthia now. Don't be embarrassed to accept Cynthia's help because of me." Cynthia Deng smiled, kissed Kevin Lee's cheek, and looked at him coquettishly. "That's right, Kevin and I were originally first love. Although you two were together for a while, I didn't mind. When Kevin came, he even told me that you are only good at studying, and that I should help you." "Thanks, really, I don't need it. I'm doing pretty well at work." I really don't know how they could come up with so much on their own. For me, Kevin Lee is already someone from the past. Luckily, roommate Tina Lee came running over and hugged my arm. "I'm not late, am I?" There was traffic, so I just ran over. I took her by the arm and said to them, "Hurry up and go inside. The wedding is about to start." I could hear my classmates whispering until I sat down at the table. Kevin Lee had good taste after all. He knew that Nina Jenkins was only good at studying and had no real talent, so he chose his first love Cynthia Deng instead. You're right. It doesn't matter if Nina Jenkins was #1 in her studies. She's still just working in a hospital, whereas Cynthia Deng now has her own hospital. Wow, 2 girlfriends at the same table. And the key is that Cynthia Deng is doing better than her. I wonder how Nina Jenkins feels. Of course she doesn't feel good. She must have been faking it just now. Nina Jenkins heard all this. She took a glass of wine and looked at me with her chin up, saying, "Don't take what your classmates said to heart. I've always treated people equally. Although you always outperformed me in school, times have changed. Don't be too self-deprecating." Kevin Lee looked at me disdainfully and said, "I've always said that you're too rigid and inflexible. Society is not school. You'll be working for the rest of your life. One day you'll regret coming to us for help." The wedding march sounded through the banquet hall. I silently watched the bride and groom on the high platform exchange rings. One dish after another was served. After drinking, the classmates opened up. Both overtly and covertly, they asked each other about their jobs and income. After learning that Cynthia Deng was planning to open a second hospital, they kept on toasting. I knew from the beginning that Cynthia Deng was no ordinary person and would definitely succeed. Hasn't it come true? She's not just some academic, she's got real skills. Just look at the cancer patients she's cured. Cynthia Deng is a real talent, just like the academic she was back in the day. That's right, She studied in the beautiful country for many years, and her skills are no joke. Cynthia Deng shook the glass in her hand, and the left hand holding the glass revealed a jade bracelet with a warm color. She accepted the compliments with pleasure. I also want to thank my fiancé Kevin, who has never left my side over the years and taken care of my daily life, so that I can focus better on my medical studies. Kevin Lee put his arm around Cynthia Deng's shoulders and looked at her affectionately. I also want to thank you for helping me write my thesis and publish my journal articles, for giving me the position of Deputy Hospital Director, for the honor and respect you have given me, and for making me the envy of many people. It's still Kevin Lee's good judgment to have taken Cynthia Deng in hand so early. Hey, I remember that when we graduated, Cynthia Deng was dating Nina Jenkins. The person next to him gave the other person an elbow and whispered. They broke up. Kevin Lee went abroad and then went after Cynthia Deng. Ah, I see. First love is the best. If Kevin Lee had stayed with Nina Jenkins, they would probably both be working as employees and never get ahead. Exactly. Cynthia Deng was the first love, and Nina Jenkins was the second. The gap between the two is now like heaven and earth. Everyone is talking about Cynthia Deng and Kevin Lee. They hope to get closer to each other. My presence has become a tool to connect them. My roommate Tina Lee came up to me and said with emotion, "Gee, I didn't realize Cynthia Deng was quite something. Although she was a nerd before, I didn't realize she could now cure cancer." And Kevin Lee got back together with his girlfriend. He's spending his girlfriend's money and acting like it's a big deal. He's so proud of himself for having a good life thanks to his girlfriend. He's even got the nerve to say it. If your boyfriend has to compare himself to your boyfriend, he's got nothing on him. I smiled, thinking about my husband, and my heart softened. Until the bride started throwing the bouquet. Everyone started joking around. Kevin Lee said he was going to propose, and was immediately pushed onto the stage by his classmates. No one else tried to grab it. They watched as Kevin Lee picked up the bouquet that no one else wanted and walked towards Cynthia Deng. He then got down on one knee and proposed to her. Cynthia Deng covered her mouth, moved with emotion and shed tears, nodding nonstop and saying yes. The crowd below applauded and cheered. I hung my jacket on the chair and told Tina Lee I was going to the bathroom. When I came out, I saw Kevin Lee leaning against the wall nearby. I nodded and planned to leave, but he stopped me. "Nina Jenkins, actually, on the way here I saw you in the car. You were riding a shared bicycle on the road, and you looked really awkward. I really didn't think you would end up like this. At the beginning, I persuaded you to work hard and told you to learn from Cynthia Deng and join an RD team abroad. Wouldn't you have already become successful? After all, your grades were better than hers, but you were stubborn. Look at our old classmates today. None of them are dressed more expensively than you." I explained indifferently, "I just had an overnight surgery yesterday, and I was in a rush and didn't have time to change." He impatiently interrupted me. "Don't be so stubborn. Is it so hard to admit that you're not doing well? I'm so glad I broke up with you. Cynthia Deng is much more clever than you, and makes much more money than you. You just study hard." I sneered. All he cares about is money. If Cynthia Deng wasn't so amazing, would he still be with her? I felt quite bored and wanted to leave. "Kevin, why haven't you come back for so long?" Cynthia Deng suddenly came over, put her arm around Kevin Lee's arm, tilted her chin slightly and looked at me. "Are you catching up with an old flame?" Kevin Lee quickly put his arm around her waist. "What old flame? The only person I'm sure of now is you." Cynthia Deng touched his cheek. "Of course I know. After all, everyone chooses the best one." Cynthia Deng looked at me and shook her head. "When Kevin broke up with me and started dating you, I was quite resentful. Although I was the top student, I was always second best to you. You were always on top, and every teacher was full of praise for you. But now I look at it again, you're not that great either. But people have to accept their own incompetence. Seeing that you're not doing well now, to be honest, I'm quite happy about it, ha ha ha." She said this, patted my shoulder, laughed mockingly, and left. As he walked past me, he whispered in my ear, "You'll always be better than me at studying. Kevin Lee once abandoned me for you, and I swore then that I would one day trample you in the dust." Back then, after Kevin Lee broke up with Cynthia Deng and started going out with me, Cynthia Deng came looking for me and swore angrily, "I will one day stand above you, and let everyone know that I'm better than you." It seems that she and Kevin Lee really were a perfect match. Like her, I always like to compare myself with others. I always want to be better than others. But I only compare myself with my past self. Back to the wedding banquet hall again. Guests have already started to leave. I picked up my jacket and was about to say hello to Lily Zhang and leave. Cynthia Deng, however, frowned and wouldn't let me go. I couldn't help but frown and ask her what she meant. She said she had lost her ring, and that no one could leave until they found the person who was at this table before. Kevin Lee also looked at me anxiously and impatiently. I just got engaged, and then I lost my ring. That ring cost more than 2 million yuan. What do you mean you can't leave yet? The other students chimed in. A ring that costs more than 2 million yuan? Oh my, you really need to find it. Exactly, I can't even afford a ring for my house. So Kevin Lee and Cynthia Deng are really rich now. Did you leave it on the sink when you went to wash your hands in the bathroom? Or did it just fall off when there were so many people? Everyone kept talking about the possibilities. I glanced at the time on my phone. Tiredness from the night and the busy morning made me want to just go back and rest. Your ring is worth a lot, so just call the police. That way it will be quicker to find. Cynthia Deng immediately rejected my suggestion. She also said that we were old classmates, and it wouldn't look good if it didn't work out. Cynthia Deng looked at me and said, I think we should just search you. We are old classmates, and I don't want it to get too embarrassing. She then walked up to me and said, Do you mind if I check your pockets? If you've done nothing wrong, you have nothing to fear. I handed her my clothes with a clear conscience, and she rummaged through my pockets. She pulled out a ring and a mocking smile appeared at the corner of her mouth. I couldn't help but frown. I haven't taken anything of yours. Kevin Lee grabbed my jacket and threw it on the ground. Even a thief won't admit to stealing. Nina Jenkins, we've broken up. I bought this ring specifically to propose to Cynthia. What do you mean by stealing the ring now? I said it wasn't me. If you insist on throwing mud at me, you can call the police and let them decide what really happened. The noise here attracted the attention of the banquet hall management. Someone came over soon. Mom! Mom! I looked at the pair of children running over, picked one up in my arms, and asked them in surprise why they were here. My husband Michael Lucas walked over to me, took my son in my arms, and told my son that his mother would be tired carrying 2 babies. Then he turned his head and put his arm around my shoulders, saying, I said you were getting married here today and had to come find you. Honey, I heard from the manager that someone here lost something. What happened? The hotel manager introduced. This is our CEO, Michael Lucas. You can tell Mr. Lucas in detail about the process of losing your ring. Mr. Lucas will definitely do you justice. Michael Lucas, isn't that the head of Lucas Corporation, the leading domestic hotel company? Yes, the hotel where this wedding banquet hall is held is owned by Lucas Corporation. But why is she called Nina Jenkins' wife? And the child also calls her Nina Jenkins' mother. Oh my God, they can't be husband and wife, can they? Ignoring my classmates' questions, I gave a detailed account of what had just happened. Michael Lucas decisively ordered someone to call the police and check the surveillance footage. Cynthia Deng's face instantly changed. There's no need to call the police. We've already found it. Let's just forget about it. We're all classmates. I don't want to make a scene. Michael Lucas said sternly, Ms. Deng, this ring is worth more than 2 million yuan. It's a valuable item. Since it was lost in our hotel, of course we have to find out the truth. After all, we have to protect our hotel's reputation. Don't you agree? Hearing this, Cynthia Deng had nothing to say, but her eyes were full of anxiety. Kevin Lee, on the other hand, had a complicated expression on his face as he asked Michael Lucas, What's your relationship with me? I looked at the students who had pricked up their ears and looked at Michael Lucas tenderly. This is my husband, Michael Lucas. Lily Zhang took her husband by the hand and immediately walked up to me and Michael Lucas and smiled. Today is really thanks to Nina that we have such a wonderful wedding venue. My husband and I are very satisfied with this wedding. When we get back, my husband and I will invite you to dinner alone. Michael Lucas politely said, You are Nina's good friend, so we have to give her face. After hearing this, my classmates looked at me differently. I didn't realize that Nina Jenkins had secretly gotten married, and her husband is such a big shot. Exactly, Kevin Lee kept on disliking her, but it turns out that she found someone better than him. But her husband is so rich, so how could he still like Cynthia Deng's ring? I'm afraid there's something fishy going on, isn't there? Who knows? Didn't you call the police? Police will know when they arrive. Nina, you didn't tell us that you got married, so we could have given you a big red envelope. I looked at the group of people who had ignored me and were now trying to get acquainted with me, and just said a few polite words. Halfway through the night, Cynthia Deng tried to leave, but was stopped by the security guard. Soon after, the police arrived and the surveillance footage was released. After I left, Cynthia Deng accidentally leaned over as she walked past my chair, and the ring in her hand fell into my pocket. Truth came to light. Because the ring was of high value, Cynthia Deng was taken away by the police for investigation for framing someone else to steal valuables. I had just walked out of the hotel door. Kevin Lee ran up to me and stopped me. I told Michael Lucas to take the 2 children into the car first. It was too sunny outside. Michael Lucas, with his full of possessiveness, kissed me on the forehead and squinted at Kevin Lee before turning to the car. Kevin Lee looked at me with a complex and puzzled look in his eyes. How did you end up marrying Michael Lucas? There's nothing to hide about this. Michael Lucas's father was hospitalized in our hospital due to coronary heart disease, and I was his attending physician. I met Michael Lucas during his hospitalization. He admired my professionalism and pursuit of academia. His ability and filial piety also attracted me. We naturally fell in love and got married. The wedding was low-key, and I only invited Lily Zhang and Tina Lee, who I knew well. So no one else knows I'm married. After hearing my story, Kevin Lee's eyes turned red. Is that your child? But you once said you wanted to have children with me. How can you give birth to someone else's child? I was a bit speechless by his words and couldn't help reminding him, vows only take effect when two people are together. Now we've broken up. Kevin Lee, my husband and child are still waiting for me. I'll go first. He anxiously asked from behind Nina Jenkins, do you still love me? I shook my head firmly. I have long since let go of my feelings for you. Now I love my husband and child. I don't know why he asked such a thing, but there is no need to dwell on people and things that are in the past. My current focus is only on my family and work. I was thinking of treating Cynthia Deng like any other business. Since she wanted to frame me with a 2 million ring, she didn't think about letting me off the hook. Naturally, she should also be punished as she deserves. But I never expected to hear the news that she had been caught committing academic fraud and using human experiments to falsify treatment data. She was also a top student at our university. After graduation, she was able to get a job at a very good hospital. Cynthia Deng found a way to get into a very famous research team abroad. She published papers, journals, honors, and achievements, and quickly left her peers far behind. In particular, the successful cases she cured during the treatment of several cancer patients made her even more famous in the industry. With the help of the research team, she also founded her own hospital. Now she has been discovered. The research team she joined has been secretly using live people for human experiments, and they transformed normal people into cancer patients, observing their disease progression before treating them step by step. And the few patients that Cynthia Deng cured were not really cured. Now their bodies have erupted with various aftereffects. The hospital in her name was also closed down after negative news broke out about it selling fake drugs. And the research team was arrested. I don't think Cynthia Deng will ever get out of there in her lifetime. When I heard the news, I couldn't help but angrily denounce it. This is really despicable. Academic research is a long and arduous process, especially medical research, where every successful case represents progress in the medical field. Maintaining one's initial intentions and principles during the research process is fundamental. A method like this, which uses harming people to achieve its goals, is truly outrageous. Today, I received a call from an unlisted number. On the other end of the line was Kevin Lee, his voice full of panic. Nina, what should I do? Cynthia Deng gave me some medicine before. Do you think there's something wrong with it? Will there be something wrong with my body? What should I do? The hospital has been shut down. I was just released after being taken to the police station for questioning. I really didn't know Cynthia Deng was doing such things. I thought she was really capable. I frowned. Although I didn't like him contacting me, I reminded him seriously, you should go to the hospital for a comprehensive examination first and see what happens. A few days later, Kevin Lee burst into my office, his face full of despair. Nina, my physical report says that I have terminal lung cancer. The vitamins Cynthia Deng gave me were fake. What should I do now? I stood up abruptly. I quickly looked over his report and said, you'd better be admitted to the hospital and cooperate with the doctor for treatment. I wasn't busy at the moment, so I helped him with the paperwork. After everything was settled, I poured Kevin Lee a glass of water as he sat on the bed, lost in thought. Kevin Lee looked at me hesitantly. I knew you wouldn't abandon me. You still like me, don't you? I was blind to go to that scum Cynthia Deng. Looking back, you were still the best for me. Nina, I've come to my senses now. I shouldn't have broken up with you so arbitrarily, and I shouldn't have called you a loser. I know I was wrong. Can you forgive me and let's get back together? I frowned at him and said, Kevin Lee, we've already broken up. I have a new family now, and I don't like you. Don't say things like that anymore. He shook his head and said, no, you like me. Otherwise, how could you be so busy taking care of me? You must still be thinking about me. I coldly backed away. I'm just indignant at what Cynthia Deng did. I only helped you with your hospital admission because of our school friendship. You got emotional again, so I took care of you a little. If my actions have given you the wrong impression, I apologize. You should get your parents to come and take care of you as soon as possible. After saying that, I turned around and left. Kevin Lee yelled from behind. Do you think Michael Lucas really likes you? But a CEO like you, an ordinary person? You two could never be happy. I'm the only one who's right for you. I walked even faster. Some people look down on those who are not as well off as them when they are doing well. When they are not doing well, they start to envy those who are doing well. They are never satisfied. Some people always think that I am marrying up, but I have never considered myself inferior. Kevin Lee often says that I just study and research, but what he doesn't know is that 2 of my breakthrough research results in heart disease treatment have been published in top international medical journals. I am dedicated to curing diseases and saving lives. I have never considered myself inferior because I don't have as much money as others. Michael Lucas also often tells me, my academic ability can save lives, which is priceless. And life is priceless. He admires my professionalism and serious attitude towards medicine. I also like his values and soft heart. Therefore, Kevin Lee's words of provocation will not have any effect on me. But Kevin Lee began to appear in front of me frequently. This day, he barged into my office again, holding a bunch of grapes in his hand. Nina, you once said that you like grapes the most, so I picked these for you. Do you like them? I told him sternly to leave, as I still had patience to see. He came up to me and tried to take my hand. Nina, I regret it. I really regret it. I shouldn't have broken up with you. Will you forgive me? Will you get back together with me? I couldn't stand it anymore and called the security guard to come and take him away. After work, I went to his ward. I told him seriously and earnestly that he should not harass me anymore. But he kept saying that I should give him another chance. His parents called me outside the ward. They apologized, saying he is sick and in a bad mood, under a lot of pressure. I'm really sorry, but Nina, is there really no hope for you too? I told them seriously, Auntie, I'm already married with a husband and children. And even if I weren't married, there's no way I could be with Kevin Lee anymore. We broke up a long time ago. Please try to persuade him. They were also under a lot of pressure due to their son's illness. I didn't want to say anything too embarrassing, but I couldn't let Kevin Lee keep harassing me like this and affecting my work. Fortunately, the hospital had a place available for an exchange program in the next city. I volunteered to apply. The hospital quickly agreed. When I arrived, I discovered that Michael Lucas had come with the baby. I looked at them in surprise. Michael Lucas hugged me from behind and said in a low voice, My wife is here on business, and I'm here with the baby. Are you happy? I nodded and said, very happy. When I wasn't busy at work, my husband and I would take the kids to the nearby amusement park and food court. For some reason, I always felt like there was a pair of eyes watching me from behind. After putting the 2 babies to sleep that day, my phone rang. Nina, I'm downstairs at the hotel where you're staying. Would you come out and meet me? I walked over to the window and looked down. Kevin Lee was standing downstairs holding a bag of things and looking up. He continued talking on the phone, If you don't come down, I'll just keep standing here. Michael Lucas frowned at Kevin Lee below and was about to pick up the phone and have security escort him away. I stopped him, saying that it wasn't going to work if it continued like that. I'll go down and see what he really wants. I didn't expect to follow him to the next city. When I got downstairs, I frowned and asked Kevin Lee what he really wanted. Kevin Lee opened the bags in his hands one by one. Nina, I've made your favorite dishes. This is spicy chicken, this is mapo tofu, this is Mao blood, and this is poached sliced pork. You used to do the cooking and housework, but from now on I'll do it all. I'll cook for you. His eyes sparkled as he looked at me. I know you always like spicy food, but you always cook food that is bland to suit my taste. Now, how about I cater to your tastes? I can eat spicy food too. He then used his chopsticks to pick up the spicy chicken and shoved it into his mouth, but the chili made him cough. I took the food to the side and sighed. Why are you doing this? In my previous life, I wanted to spend a good life with him. Because he doesn't like spicy food, I never put chili peppers in the food I cook at home. I learned to cook the light meals he likes. After another argument in my previous life, I once again prepared a full table of his favorite meals. I just wanted the 2 of us to communicate well and continue living together. But he pushed me down hard and I fell, dropping the baby. He then filed for divorce. Now when I think back, my heart is already without any waves. Kevin Lee was flushed with embarrassment. I just want to tell you that I haven't forgotten you. I now know that even if you are just a doctor, you are a good doctor with medical ethics. During the days I was in the hospital, I heard the nurses say how amazing you are. You have made innovative research in the treatment of heart disease, which has greatly helped the treatment of patients. I was narrow-minded before. You are excellent in yourself. I was blinded by the hustle and bustle and my vanity. I was wrong. Can we get back together? I couldn't help but laugh. Kevin Lee, you have never liked me but money. You only want to get back together with me because you think my research results will make you look good. You are never satisfied. You just want a glamorous wife to decorate your appearance. Don't come to me pretending to be so affectionate. You'll only make me look down on you. And right now, I don't like you at all. So whether you're really sorry or just pretending to be, I'm not going to be with you. Just leave me alone. Let's just part ways amicably. When he saw that I was leaving, he pounced on me, trying to hug me. Michael Lucas, who had been following me, came over immediately and pushed him away. The security guard at the hotel entrance also hurried over and held him down. Michael Lucas coldly ordered the police to be called. In the end, he was taken away by the police. Before getting into the car, I could still hear Kevin Lee shouting, "I really regret it. Nina, will you forgive me? Will you forgive me?" Later, Kevin Lee's parents picked him up. After being diagnosed by a psychiatrist, Kevin Lee was diagnosed with mild anxiety disorder. His parents then transferred him to another hospital and stayed by his side at all times. 2 months later, I received a phone call from Kevin Lee's parents. They cried on the phone, begging me to go and see Kevin Lee. I could tell from their voices that things were not good, and they kept begging me on the phone. Although I didn't want to go, I really couldn't say no to 2 old people. When I got there, Kevin Lee had lost a lot of weight and his cheekbones were prominent. He looked out of the window with a vacant expression, but the moment he saw me, his eyes lit up a little. He looked at his body and laughed to himself. I must look terrible now, right? I didn't answer. He continued, "You've been reborn too, haven't you? When I said I wanted to break up, you were so calm, you didn't try to stop me. At the time I was glad, but now I think I should have been the one to stop you. If we could do it all over again, do you think we could do it again?" Looking into his sparkling eyes, I interrupted his fantasy. No, there aren't that many chances in life. Moreover, a person's character and desires determine the path they will take. If one is greedy and vain, and deludes oneself into thinking that one can take shortcuts to success, then no matter how many times one lives one's life over, one will never succeed. He heard the unspoken meaning in my words. His tone was sad and painful, but I really understand now. I really know that I was wrong. If you could live your life over again, would you be with me? I gave him a definite no. I came to see you today because your parents begged me, and I couldn't bear to. I won't come to see you again, and you mustn't look for me in the future. I never went to see him again. Later, I heard the news that he had left. But to me, he was just an ordinary classmate. Now I only cherish my current life even more. Stay true to your original intentions and keep your principles. Take each step of your life with both feet firmly on the ground.